Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of eCommerce Growth Show. I'm Valentin Radu, your host today, and I'm here with Soma Toth. Hello, Soma.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
So let me give to our audience a bit of context about you. Soma is leading Recart, the #1 messenger marketing app for e-commerce. He's the CEO, and he makes sure that more than 110,000 small and mid-sized businesses powered by Recart continue to see amazing growth thanks to their messenger app. So, Soma, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So, let me give to our audience the topics for today. The first topic, differences between email, SMS, and messenger. The second one, messenger marketing tactics from high growth direct to consumer brands, and a step-by-step guide to achieve 100,000 times ROI. So, Soma, let's start with the first question that I'm asking all our guests, which is how you've first got into the e-commerce landscape at the very beginning, and what are you currently doing with your life into this, let's say, playground, with your own words?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I started my first e-commerce business back in 2012. And prior to that, I was in many different online marketing roles and actually building my own marketing agency back then. And we had many e-commerce clients we worked with to achieve high growth for their stores. And around 2012, at the end of 2012, I realized that, hey, we already doing so much for these e-commerce businesses. We do the branding, we do the creatives, we do the PPC, and basically everything besides the shipment and the tracking. That, well, why don't we start our own e-commerce business and take the shipment and the distribution part as well? So we flew to China and we found different factories. We went to different shows to figure out what products we want to sell, and we negotiated prices, and we bulk imported many different items and mostly gadgets in Middle Europe, Hungary. And I started my first e-commerce business late 2012, and basically I felt the huge pain of growing an e-commerce store. Back in 2012, Shopify was not as advanced as it is today, and it wasn't really suitable for European merchants. You know, the fulfillment networks and all that stuff was not really integrated into it. So it was really painful to grow our e-commerce stores, but at the same time, the opportunity was huge because the Facebook PPC was very cheap, especially in Europe. The clicks were almost free. So we grew our stores pretty quickly atop of the Facebook advertising arbitrage and 12, 13, and 2014. And year over year, the price of the clicks increased, probably doubled or tripled every single year, but it was still very cheap. And around 2015, we realized that, okay, so many other businesses realized that they want to jump in the same business and want to do the same thing we do. The prices of the clicks went up significantly, and we had to rethink many of our business models. And back then, we had many great custom-built marketing automation in our e-commerce engines. And the main reason we built those because e-commerce marketing software back then was either very rudimentary or very expensive. We didn't have, your Klaviyo, your Privy, or your Omnisend at hand. you had to buy an enterprise software, or you had to rely on MailChimp or something else that had not, sufficient integration with your e-commerce store. And we realized that, hey, small stores who are trying to grow from zero to a few $1 million in annual revenue don't really have the easy and cheap access to marketing automation in e-commerce. So that's why we built Recart as a side project in 2015 to tackle cart abandonment via email automations. That's how Recart started in 2015. And while we were gaining some traction in 2016, we saw the Messenger business platform opening up, allowing businesses to connect with their customers on Facebook Messenger. And we decided to take on that. And we shipped the world's very first cart abandonment automation on Facebook Messenger in early 2017. And that's when Recart became popular in a short period of time, because it turns out that many of the e-commerce merchants wanted to reach their audience at almost 100% open rates and in an easy, personal way. And since then, we've been growing pretty nicely, and we actually crossed 150,000 installs on the Shopify App Store, and that basically made us one of the most popular Shopify apps. And nowadays we are focusing on the experience, and we're trying to help more. We are trying to provide more help for the larger merchants who are making already $1, $2, $3 million, and we try to arm them with personalized automations through Facebook Messenger. That's the short story.
So, Soma, at the beginning of our conversation, I've, said to our audience that one of the topics would be to nail down the differences between the email and SMS and messenger marketing. Can you shed some light over these aspects?
Absolutely. So the main marketing channel for e-commerce was email and still is for a very long time. And while email should be the backbone of your own marketing for your e-commerce store, you have to admit that email has a very limited engagement rate. So basically, the average open rate for a newsletter is 12%, according to Klaviyo stats. And the average click rate is somewhere between 1 and 1.5%. And so while you can design beautiful emails and you can personalize them at a high level, the engagement is going to be quite low, since Gmail and all the email inboxes are working really hard to make sure that their customers only get notified by the things they truly interested in. And even if they're interested in a promotion, it's going to be in the promotions folder, buried under all the other brands that are trying to get your customers' attention. And basically the idea of chat marketing, which includes both SMS and messenger marketing, is to provide a channel to the business that it can use to communicate with their customers at a high engagement rate. And when it comes to SMS, the advantage is clear, right? The engagement is super high, although software cannot really measure the open rates properly, but we know that it's somewhere close to 90-95%. Just imagine yourself, when was the last time you have not opened a text? And that's pretty powerful, and you can make sure that what you are trying to say is going to get noticed by your customers or your subscribers. However, SMS is a quite limited platform. So if you want to send your messages for cheap or for an acceptable price, you gotta send a concise message with only 160 characters, without buttons, without images, without the design you got used to with your emails. Your message is going to be very powerful still, but you have the limitations on the experience. And that's where Messenger comes in, because Messenger has the ability to be beautiful, personalized, and also carries the same high level engagement and even a higher level of engagement than SMS. So while there is no better than the other, we are not trying to sell the idea that you shouldn't do email or shouldn't do SMS. What we are trying to explain is the real differences between the different channels. And while email and SMS are very, very good platforms to help you grow your business, and you probably should use it, Messenger is definitely something you don't want to miss out, due to the high engagement rates and the experience it can give to you and to your customers. And for Messenger, what's the really important point here is Messenger is a two-way channel. So while for text messages, technically your customers can respond, and we'll respond if they have a question or a concern or something like that. But for Messenger, for example, for abandoned cart messages, we record an average 20% response rate. It's not open, it's not click. 20% of the people reaches back to you and say hi or ask their questions or plays with the chatbot you can use to automate the conversation here. So what's really important about Messenger is very effective, almost 100% open rates, and the experience is much better with a two-way communication and with all the rich videos and texts and quizzes and answers.
Yeah. Question here, Soma. In your platform, in Recart, are you able to differentiate and to test various scenarios? Like if the customer is I don't know, a VIP customer, or if I want to test a sequence, like give this message, and if he's not answering anything, wait for 2 days and then send this message. Is this possible to build these kind of conversation scenarios? Because I've seen these are quite powerful in Klaviyo for email.
Exactly. That was one of the first things we built into Recart. We realized that when we took a look at our customers' stats, we noticed that 90% of the people who asked for a discount code using a pop-up have not actually checked out. So we saw a 90% or even higher discount abandonment rate. And we were like, well, these people already had the intention to at least consider purchase something, right? Because they asked for a discount code. So the intention is there. So why don't we give this discount code to them on Messenger and follow up with them if they are not moving forward in the customer journey? So that's what we did. It's a very basic use case. You can follow up on the conversation if they don't add to cart something or they don't check out. And the message you're sending, the reminder you're sending, is being opened because the phone vibrates, shakes, flashes, and lets the customers know that the discount code is still there.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a re-engagement technique, making sure that he's still aware about what he's missing out. Soma, tell me something regarding the let's say other channels and how this channel can be added and let's say used synergically with other channels as well. So let's say you have some ads, you have some with email campaigns? How can you be sure that you are orchestrating everything and you are consistent with your message, not to say on one channel to say X and on another channel to say Z or Y.
That's a really good question. Messenger is technically designed to play very well with all these channels. So to follow your thoughts and to reflect on your first point, it's really easy to integrate Messenger conversations into your ads. So you can turn your Facebook and Instagram ads into Messenger conversations anytime using, Recart or any other Messenger platform out there. It's pretty easy to do, and instead of taking people directly to the website or the product page, you can take them through a series of questions. You can unlock a special discount, or can give them a special content that they are interested in. And this messenger conversation can very effectively pull in the customer's email address and phone numbers. So what's really effective here is that customers can tap on their email address and their phone number, giving it to you without typing in anything. So let's imagine the scenario when you run an Instagram ad, which you turn into a messenger conversation. That's what we call messenger ads. So you run a messenger ad, for example, it's a 20% off offer to people who visited your website but have not checked out, right? It's a basic retargeting tactics. But instead of taking them to the website directly, you take them to Messenger. And as soon as they tap on the ad, they go to the Messenger app and they become your Messenger subscribers. So you get them. You will be able to talk to them on Messengers from this point on until they unsubscribe. And in the first question, you're like, hey, can I have your email address? We're going to send a copy of this offer to your email address as well. And a quick reply at the bottom of the Messenger conversation will appear, offering the customer's very own personal email address to confirm and give it to you immediately. Just like with lead ads, Facebook pre-fills this for you. And once customers tap on the email address, they gave the email address to you, and the conversation continues, and you unlock the discount code and take them to the website. And what's really cool about this is that this email address can go to your Klaviyo, Omnisend, Drip account, whatever ESP you use. We integrate with many of them. And once the email is given by your customer, it goes to Klaviyo. And here's the best part. We enrich the profile with their Facebook profiles, so they are not only an email address to you anymore. When you have an email pop-up, they subscribe with their email address, but you don't really know much else about them, except for the IP address and some things you can mine from the browser. But here, when you subscribe people from Messenger, you have their first name, last name, gender, the country they live in, the language they speak, and what time zone they are in, which is very, very valuable information if you want to, further personalize your email marketing. And the same can be done with SMS as well. So you can capture their phone numbers. Most of the people have their phone numbers on file in Facebook, and you can take that number to SMS Bump or PostScript or whatever you use for SMS marketing. So yes, long story short, Messenger integrates into your marketing stack pretty nicely. So you don't have to decide between, do I have to ditch email? Do I have to ditch my pop-ups? You can integrate Messenger into your current flow 100%.
That's actually more valuable than capturing simple emails from random strangers. But Soma, let us understand what is the impact of such marketing tactics and how this can be used by, I don't know, direct to consumer brands as well.
Yep, absolutely. So the first pillar of a successful messenger strategy is always subscription. So the same with email or the same with SMS, you gotta have some people in your list, right? So there is an entry point. What's really cool about Messenger, it offers you literally a ton of different entry points. So we mentioned earlier that you can use ads. So you can run Facebook and Instagram ads that take people to Messenger. As soon as they are in Messenger, they become your subscribers. So those are two tools you can use, but you can also use comments to trigger conversations. So you can actually have a Facebook post that asks people to comment in the comment section and basically trigger a messenger conversation in their messenger inbox. It's a very effective way to start a conversation, and it also drives a ton of virality to your post because people have to comment on the post in order to start the conversation. And those are mostly, offsite entry points. But what about on-site entry points? So what can you do on your website to subscribe people to the messenger list? Recart offers a 10 or 12 different opt-in tools you can use on-site. And the most popular and most effective one is a simple pop-up. So we use a welcome pop-up to welcome people on the website with an offer, which many merchants do with email or SMS. What we do for most of our merchants instead is to subscribe people to Messenger first and then ask them for their email address. So if you imagine your welcome pop-up having customers to opt into Messenger, asking for their email address on the next step without making them typing in anything, it's a very easy two-tap subscription that you could get used to with SMS, but instead of SMS, this happens on Messenger. And with the same two-tap, instead of only an SMS or only a phone number, you get the first name, last name, gender, all the personal information, the Messenger subscription, and the email or phone number subscription. So it's very, very valuable. And since they don't have to type in anything and using the pop-up is very, very easy, conversion rates are much, much higher compared to email. So we usually convert 18% of the visitors into Messenger subscribers with our on-site tools. But we also have many different forms of subscription tools in Recart. You can use different widgets. You can use Messenger's chat plugin, which we helped the Messenger team to launch in a few weeks ago. And you can also use the order page widget, which you can use to subscribe, or the fresh customers to get an exclusive discount for their next purchase. It's very surprising to see how many fresh customers opt into the exclusive discount they can use next time. Many customers believe that they're going to purchase again from the store, so they take on the discount code and make sure that they have it. So subscription part is extremely important, and if you don't have a strong subscription strategy, you cannot expect people to be in your Messenger list, just like with email, just like with SMS. And what we aim for is to make sure that we at least convert 10% of your website visitors into Messenger subscribers. And once they are in your list, you're ready to start with the flows and the welcome flows, the cart abandonment flows, and all the campaigns that generates you all of that revenue.
That's neat. I mean, that's a great strategy to actually acquire the lead, let's say, and the first contact with those customers, and then follow up with these scenarios. Soma, what about the last topic that we talked about? We promised this guide, this step-by-step guide to achieve more than 100 times ROI. So let us know what's all about.
Exactly. So yeah, many of the things I've mentioned already, but let's go through the list. What you can do to achieve 100x ROI on messenger marketing. It's actually easier than you think. So first of all, you have to have a strong subscription strategy based on the composition of your traffic. If it comes from Instagram or Facebook or Google, we can give you a quite sharp recommendation on what you should use on your website. So for example, most of our merchants are eligible for this welcome pop-up of Recart. So we offer them to start with the pop-up and make sure that they subscribe at least 10% of their visitors to Messenger subscribers. So if you have a strong subscription strategy, it's already half success, right? And so if we got that right and you enabled the pop-up or any other tool that generates you enough amount of subscribers, the next step is to activate your flows and campaigns. So I usually talk about this in two parts, flows and campaigns. Flows are the things that are being triggered automatically based on a customer behavior or any other triggers. And campaigns are the ones that you're usually send out. For example, this week, Labor Day is coming up. So many of our merchants are getting ready for the Labor Day campaigns. So what's really important with welcome flows is to get the welcome flow right in Messenger. And for most of the merchants, welcome flows are the most profitable flows out there. So it's no surprise that it's very similar in Messenger. So you have to make sure that you have a warm welcome for your subscribers, a two-way communication where they can ask questions or learn more about the product or the story of your brand, or they can just basically get more familiar with you, your story, and your brand. Also, you have to include follow-ups. You have to acknowledge that people are busy and they are being distracted. They are being pulled to 100 different directions. And the most effective messenger marketing is when you remind your customers that you are there, the offer is there, and they should move forward in the customer journey. So inside the welcome flows, we usually build in 1 or 2 follow-ups, which is really cool because they get messaged on Facebook Messenger, which has almost 100% open rates, and they can act on your message and continue with their purchase. So welcome flow is the number 1 flow you have to get right. The second one is usually abandoned cart. That's the second most important flow that our merchants use. It generates a ton of revenue for them. If you get it right, and if you get a first reminder without a discount and a second reminder with a discount, it gets very, very effective. Also, inside your abandoned cart flows, you have to make sure that you provide additional context to the customers. And they can learn about the shipping times, they can learn about the product, and they can iron out all their concerns and questions they might have with the purchase. Oftentimes when customers abandon a cart, all they need is a little push. So you have to make sure that all the information is available inside the abandoned cart flow. The third one is receipt. So, and basically we can talk about receipt and shipping notifications here. If you want to make sure that the customers will become a repeat customer. You have to make sure that the experience is amazing post-purchase as well. So Receipt is a really great way to do that, because Messenger allows you to send them their receipt on Facebook Messenger, but at the same time provide an easy way to track their shipment. So if they receive, they can have a track button on Messenger. Once they click on that, they can automatically see the status of their package. Also with full payment notifications that you should absolutely enable for your e-commerce store, you can go ahead and notify your customers when the shipment is on its way, providing the track button to make sure that they can track wherever their package is. And yep, those are the most important flows you need to get right. And for campaigns, there are many different ways to re-engage with your Messenger subscribers. But the most important is a tool called sponsor messages. Sponsor messages are the ways you can use to re-engage with your customers once they are not active with your Messenger conversation. So basically, those subscribers who have not recently sent you a message in the past 24 hours, it basically a blast when it's very similar to your email newsletter or your SMS broadcast campaign. And sponsor messages are paid ads, basically. And we built an integration with your ad manager, so we handle all the ad-related stuff, and we upload the conversation into your ad account, and you directly pay Facebook for the messages. And what's really cool about that is currently it's almost 4 times cheaper than an average SMS to send. So it's a huge opportunity, and you can include the GIFs, the images, the buttons, and all the two-way conversation that we talked about in the beginning of the talk. So what's really important here is not just sending promotions all the time, because many merchants tend to send too many messages with promotions, and your inbox get cluttered, and the conversation will be filled with buy now, 10%, 15%, 90%, ends today. So instead of turning your customer's Messenger inbox into a technical spam folder, we encourage you to send out interesting information, recipes, exclusive content about your product or around the problem of your customers. So having a conversation with them in Messenger that are not always promotional is crucial here. So what we recommend is to send at least 2 sponsor messages every single month, and 1 should be non-promotional. At least 1 non-promotional, giving value, talking about the problem of your customer, trying to help them. That if you do that, your promotions you're sending a little bit more rarely gonna be a lot more effective. So in the road to achieve 100x ROI, it's really, really important to make sure that you re-engage with your customers all the time. It's going to drive you a ton of revenue if you do it right, but many of the merchants just forget about it, or they feel like, okay, this is just like with email, I have to send 4 campaigns a week. Many of the merchants send that many email campaigns, and they think whatever works on email, we're going to take it to Messenger. And that's not how it works, because it's a lot more intimate, it's a lot more personal platform. You have to treat it differently. And yeah, so having your automations ready and having your campaigns sent at least 2 times a month, it's crucial to have 100x ROI on Messenger. And the third part of the entire strategy is Messenger ads. So we talked about messengers previously, and what's really, really powerful about that, if you compare it to a regular ad, which basically gives you a click, a visitor on your website, and the ability to retarget that person, later on based on their activities on the website. That's what you usually buy with a click from Facebook. So if your CPC is $1, you pay $1 for having a visitor, a single visitor on your website, and having the ability to retarget her later on. When it comes to messenger ads, and you run messenger ads on Facebook or Instagram that take people to a messenger conversation, for the same $1 you pay for Facebook for a single click, you get a messenger subscriber immediately. Once they tap on the ad, they become a messenger subscriber, and you can follow up with them and send messages to them later on. And it gives a proper personalized experience as well. You can take them through a quiz. You can give them context about your brand and your products. You can also capture their phone numbers and their email addresses. So now we are at, you bought one click and you have the messenger subscription. You have the email address or the phone number based on what you want to collect. Presumably you can collect both. And then you can have powerful follow-ups in the conversation. So if they unlocked a discount, for example, and they have not moved forward, they did not add anything to cart, or they have not checked out, you can follow up with them saying, hey, what's up? Is there anything we can help? So it's a follow-up for completely free. The platform is free to send. It allows you to send free follow-up messages in the first 24 hours after they interact with you. After that, you have to use sponsor messages and pay a small amount of fee for Facebook to deliver the message. But in the first 24 hours of the interaction, in terms of promotions, you can send the messages for free. So yeah, you can have the messenger subscription for the click. You can have the phone number, the email address, the messenger follow-ups. You have the visitor as well, because when they go through the quiz or they unlock the discount, you direct them to the website as well. And you have the ability to retarget them on Facebook or Instagram. So basically, instead of 2 things you usually buy with your regular ads, with messenger ads, you can buy 6 different things and take them to Klaviyo or PostScript or SMS Bump, whatever marketing software you use for this purpose. So this is the third pillar of the successful strategy that drives you more than 100x ROI on messenger marketing. And frankly, it's usually enough to get the first 2 right. So subscriptions and flows and campaigns are crucial to get it right. When merchants doing it well, they usually achieve 100x ROI on those as well. But who are really into messenger marketing and want to maximize their growth, they tap into messenger ads and they usually see even better results.
That's fantastic. Thanks for the let's say knowledge that you've delivered on this end, Soma, because many people are looking at Facebook and they are not getting these let's say aspects that are really useful, and they are simply paying for spraying and praying instead of capturing leads and then orchestrating these type of conversation scenarios across different channels as well. So it was great having you. Let us know where can people reach out to you. We've also placed this green button over here for those of you that want to visit Recart. It's simply recart.com, or you can find Recart on Shopify. But if some of the ones which are listening or seeing us today, some are interested to get in touch with you, where they can find you.
Yeah, you can message me anytime at soma@recart.com. So SOMA @recart.com. anytime you have any questions about messenger marketing or e-commerce marketing in general, I'm more than happy to help you out. You don't have to be a customer. You don't have to be interested in Recart specifically. Just shoot me a message. I love having a great talk with anyone who's any interesting mission on e-commerce marketing.
Perfect. So thanks a lot, Soma, for being with us today, and thanks all of you for watching. We'll see each other next Thursday at 3 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. Central Eastern time. See you. All the best.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.